What is the function of blood platelet? Blood platelet doesn't have any function than to make our blood clot. When we have clot, have you ever imagined, oh, how did this thing get covered without the blood rushing anymore? It is the function of our blood platelet. And without enough vitamin C, there won't be one. There won't be clotting of the blood. And there is a condition known as hemophilia. Hemophilia is a condition or a disease by which the blood is unable to clot. Hemophilia. Hemophilia is a disease by which the blood is unable to clot. There are some people that when they have injuries or when they have cuts on their body or any part of on their arm or any part of their body, it takes time for the blood to stop rushing because the blood hasn't clot, so the blood will continue coming out. And there are some people that have hemophilia. Those ones, the best way they just do is to prevent anything cutting their skin, because when it happens, their blood will clot. They will keep having blood coming out of that place. So the presence of vitamin K will make our blood clot faster, and also the presence of calcium in our body will make our blood clot faster. And what else again? So let me just take you through the process of blood clotting. So whenever there is a cut in any tissue in our body, we have protozoan already. Protozoan converts protozoan to thrombin. Thrombin converts fibrinogen to fibrin. And what happens next? Fibrin is the one that forms a network mesh on the skin so that the blood will stop coming out. All understand? In the presence of excess calcium in urine, protozoan is converted to thrombin. Thrombin now converts fibrinogen to fibrin. It is this fibrin that now does what? Forms a network mesh of blood on our skin so that the blood will stop coming out. I hope you've not forgotten that our blood is a tissue. Our blood is not a cell, because of it consists white blood cell, red blood cell. So, and the coming together of different cells to perform a specific function is what? Tissue. The next thing is the blood plasma. What's the function of the blood plasma? It doesn't really have any function. The function is the liquid portion of the blood, let me just say. What is the function? It is just to transport materials dissolved in it. The function of the blood plasma is to transport materials dissolved in it. What are the materials that can be dissolved in the blood plasma? Salt, amino acid, and every other thing that can dissolve in our body are those things that dissolve in our what? Blood plasma, and it contains over 70% of the blood. So it is the liquid portion. When you have a cut, what comes out is liquid. So our blood plasma is the liquid portion of the blood. I think some people are trying to classify matter into three. They said liquid, gas, liquid, solid, gas, and plasma. Plasma is just like a semi-liquid, not really liquid. So when your blood comes out, the real blood is not really liquid. There are some things dissolved in it. That is why they are trying to put plasma, because plasma is a liquid that have other substances dissolved in it. So after that, we've done the process of circulation in what? In higher animals. Let's move to lower organisms. Lower organisms like amoeba, let me just say protozoans. What do? The only media of transmission they have is what? Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Okay, let's go back to what I said earlier, that we have 4 media of transportation. Let me just put cytoplasm, the latex or cell sap. Latex or cell sap. The blood, and the lymph. It's called lymph. So the blood, cytoplasm is present in what? Smaller organisms. The latex is in plants, like I said earlier. That's the media for transportation. Media for transportation. And the blood in mammals, then there's the higher animals. And the next one is milk, is also in what? Higher animals. So it's more organisms like amoeba, paramecium, uglina. What transports substances in them is cytoplasm. It is the media of transportation, and transportation in them is not complex like we, because they have what, there is a large surface area to volume ratio. I hope you understand. There is a large surface area, like their body surface is large, so anything that comes in will get into them by simple diffusion. That is why they don't need blood, veins, or anything to transport materials in them. Another essential way blood is transported in man is by what? The capillaries. The three main organs, the three main things that transport materials in human body. We have the blood, we have the heart, and we have the capillaries. We've talked about the blood. Let's talk about the capillaries and we'll do the heart last. The capillaries, these are just like, let me just say, tubes. Okay, I think you just check your hands. When you check your hands, those that are fed, you will see some green stuff on their hand, and those that are not, they will see other things also. If you want to collect your blood at the hospital, you see them trying to beat your hand, trying to get your vein. That is where blood is. That is just the pipe, or let me just say the tube that transports the blood. It's not that the blood just pour from head to toe. There are tubes, connected tubes that transport it. We know the main organ that pumps blood is our what? Is our heart. So when this heart pumps the blood, it needs to get to other places through the what? The veins, which are the what? The tubes in our body. So these capillaries are divided into arteries, veins, they are blood vessels. The capillary is just an intermediate between the arteries and the vein. They are blood vessels. What is their function? Their function is just to transfer blood from the heart where it is pumped to other part of the body. So, blood vessels, we have the artery, the capillaries, and the veins. Actually, they have smaller ones inside them, from the arteries to the arteries, from the capillary to the vein, before you get to the vein. But these are the three main blood vessels. What is the function of the artery? The artery takes blood away from the heart. The artery does what? Takes blood away from the heart. Let me know from this. You see A. A is for away. So artery means it is taking it away. When it takes it away, it gets to the capillary. What's the function of the capillary? The capillary is to reduce the pressure of the blood, because the blood pumps with a great pressure. So when it gets to the arteries take it away. When they take it away, it gets to the capillary. The capillary does what? It reduces the pressure of the blood, because the vein can get burst. It doesn't have the strength to take blood coming with high pressure. So the function of the capillary is to be an intermediate and to do what? Reduce the pressure of the blood coming from the artery, and when it gets to the vein, it gets to other parts of the body. So now let's look at the heart. The heart is an hollow organ in the thoracic region of man's body. Hollow organ is the thoracic region of the human body. Let me just get a sketch. Let me just show you a sample of how your heart looks like. This is just the way your heart looks like. This is not a real drawing, but it's just the way your heart looks like. So with this diagram, I'll tell you everything about the heart. The heart is found in the cardiac region of the body. Where the heart is found is the cardiac region, and there we have a pericardiac fluid. What is the function of pericardiac fluid? To reduce friction when the heart is pumping. To reduce the friction. This is your heart. I told you earlier about artery. Here we have the pulmonary artery, and here we have the pulmonary vein. So this is your heart. Your heart is found in the thoracic region of the body. I said it earlier. Behind the chest bone, which is called the sternum. Behind the chest bone. Please, this is not your heart. this is not your heart. The heart is found somewhere here, not here, not here. So the heart, our heartbeat, let me just say, the heart has a way it moves, which is called what? The heartbeat, and it can also be called our pulse. We can feel the pulse of every human from our wrist. Our wrist, we can feel the pulse of every human. The normal human being has a pulse of 70 to 78 when nothing is happening to them. But when we are excited or we do something that is taking our energy, it moves to 100 or above. We can't feel our pulse ourselves. You can ask your friend to help you feel your pulse. You can't feel it yourself. So for a normal human being, it's 78. But anyone that is excited or angry or anxiety or anything, when you are not in your normal state, it moves to 100 or above. So this is the structure of the heart. Aside the heart, it is the hollow structure. I told you about that. One is what? Cardiac region, is what? Thoracic cavity of the man's body. The heart is not found in the chest. It is found behind the breastbone of your body. So the heart, the auricles are up, the ventricles are down. I made a mistake the other time. The auricles are up, the ventricles are down. So the auricle contrasts against the word ventricle. So the walls of the ventricle are thicker than that of the auricle. Because auricle contrasts against the word ventricle. Against ventricle. So this is it. The walls of the word ventricle. This is the ventricle. It is down. Imagine this one relaxing on it. So definitely this one will be thicker than this one, because this one is the one resting on it. Auricles are what? Are contrasting against ventricle. So when blood is pumping, auricles are contrasting against ventricles. Definitely the walls of ventricles are thicker than that of what? Auricles. So now again, please note, the walls of the right ventricles are in turn thicker than that of the left ventricles, because the right ventricle pumps blood to what? Greater distance. I think you understand it. The walls of the what? Left ventricle, aside being that the walls of the ventricle are thicker, normal. So the left of the left ventricle is now what? Thicker than that of the what? Right ventricle, because the left ventricle pumps blood to what? A greater distance. I think you understand that. So this is just a sketch of the, and this is the pulmonary artery, and here is the pulmonary vein. I told you earlier, pulmonary artery takes blood away, but when you hear pulmonary, pulmonary is taking it to the lungs, the pulmonary system. So it is taking it what? To the pulmonary mode of what? Circulation. It is taking blood away. From there, okay, let me tell you the process that leads to blood transfer. So now you are here, your heart is pumping blood. The blood that your heart is pumping does not have oxygen. It is not an oxygenated blood. So when it pumps it, the pulmonary artery, the artery normally is supposed to take blood away. But there is one that is pulmonary artery. It is the one. Every part of our body, they have artery. We have the mesenteric artery, we have the jugular. So we have the blood. I think the mesenteric is for the stomach, the jugular is for the neck, and other kinds of artery in our body and veins in our body. They have different functions. Now this pulmonary artery, what is its own function? Its own function is just to, it deals with the lung actually. It's the one that deals with the lung, takes blood to the lung, takes blood back from the body, from the lung. So the pulmonary artery, when it takes blood away from the heart, the blood the pulmonary artery is taking away is the what? Is a blood that does not have oxygen, the oxygenated blood. So when it takes it away, it takes it to the lungs. When the blood now gets oxygen, the pulmonary vein now returns the blood back to the heart. When it does, every other vein like jugular, every other artery like jugular artery, mesenteric artery cannot do what? Can take their own to every other part of the body like the stomach, the neck, and the arm, and every other part that needs it. I think you understand how the circulation happens. Our body needs oxygenated blood. And what is the function of pulmonary artery? Pulmonary artery takes normal blood that is just being pumped from our chest, from our chest, from our heart. When it takes it to the what? To the lungs. Lungs is where oxygen is. It takes it to the lungs. When the blood gets oxygenated, and after that, the pulmonary artery now does it. It returns it back to the heart. When it returns it back to the heart, every other part of the body can now come and take the oxygenated blood. Our body does not need deoxygenated blood that does not have oxygen. They need oxygenated blood. So after this, after the pulmonary circulation, that is when the systemic circulation can now come in, where the heart and every other part of the body get exchange blood. Okay, so the blood from upper part of our body are returned and by particular vein, and the one for the lower part of our body are also returned by what? A particular vein. So that is it about the structure of the heart. What else do you need to know about the heart? I told you about the pericardiac fluid. The pericardiac fluid is the one that makes what? I don't know. That reduces friction. Let me just say. So what else? Again, we have the auricle, we have the ventricle, the left auricle, the right and the right auricle, the left ventricle, the right ventricle, the septum at the middle of our heart. We have the auricle at the top, the ventricles below. So I told you wall of auricles are thicker than that of ventricles. So difference between auricles and ventricles is just simple. Auricles take blood away from the body. Ventricles return blood to the body. Another thing is that the only auricle takes deoxygenated blood. Vein returns blood. So any blood the vein is returning is what? Deoxygenated blood. So the only vein that carries oxygenated blood is the pulmonary vein. Please note this. The only vein that carries oxygenated blood is the what? Pulmonary vein. Why is it that it is the pulmonary vein? I explained earlier. It is the only one carrying oxygenated blood from the lungs. It is the only one returning oxygenated blood. Every other vein returns blood that has been used up by the body. So normally, pulmonary artery also is the only artery that takes what? Deoxygenated blood. But it is one taking it to go and get oxygen. So when it gets oxygen, it gives it to the pulmonary vein. That is just the exception when it comes to arteries and vein. Pulmonary artery, don't forget, is the only artery that takes what? Deoxygenated blood. While pulmonary vein is also the only vein that takes oxygenated blood. So after this, I think it should be done by heart. Don't forget we have the arteries, the blood vessels, we have the arteries, the veins, and the what? Capillary. So let's talk about some substances that can be circulated in man and also in plant. We just list the substances and tell us the parts of the body where they can be circulated and parts of which organism they can be what? Circulated. We have oxygen as our first one. Oxygen can be circulated in both plant and animal. Oxygen, some of the things that can be transported, oxygen, plants, animals. Yes, this one can transport oxygen. This can also transport oxygen. Water, yeah, water can be transported in both. The transportation of water in animal is also known as what? Let's just say transport. Okay, there are some processes of transportation. Let's use this medium to just talk about plants. Transport in plant a little. There are some processes of transportation in plant, which is we have the first one, transpiration, and the second one is transportation. Transpiration is the what? It's the moving out of water in form of vapor from leaves of plants. That's it. Moving out of water in form of what? Vapor. It's also a way by which water circulates in plant body. While transportation is the movement of food, like manufactured food in the body of what? Body of a plant. Movement of manufactured food in the body of a plant. That is the meaning of transportation. Transportation is the movement of manufactured food in the body of a plant. So another CO2, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not transported in plants. Carbon dioxide is transported in animals. Carbon dioxide is not transported in plants, it is transported in animals. What is just the function of carbon dioxide in plant? The function of carbon dioxide in plant is just to enhance photosynthesis. When it combines with oxygen, it They are the raw materials for photosynthesis, and oxygen, CO2 and water are the raw materials in photosynthesis, and oxygen is what's giving up, and sugar. Another thing is amino latex. You can just say latex. Latex is never transported in animals but can be transported in what? In plants. So these are the main things that can be transported in plants and animals, and the ones that can be transported in either of the two. So what else have we not touched about transport system? We talked about the media of transportation, where we have this cytoplasm, the blood, the nymph, and the latex. We just said the cytoplasm is for lower organisms, the blood is for higher organisms, the nymph is also for higher organisms, and the cell sap or latex is for plants. So another thing is that we talk about the three main things that transport materials in the body of man, where we have the blood, the heart, and the blood vessels. The heart does what? It pumps blood. When it pumps the blood vessels burst, they take the blood away from the heart, distribute it to other parts of our body, and here we have the blood. The blood transports other materials dissolved in it, like salt, amino acid, urea, and every other thing that is dissolved in our body. So with that, I think we tried on circulatory system. We can read more to know more. Bye for now.